the company, where does it fit into the energy system in Colombia and in the region?
We as a company, we're pure Colombia, but we have an activity in 4 countries in Latin America. We have been working on the energy market of Colombia for more than 120 years. And we have activities in distribution, generation, and transmission as well. We work as well in the gas business. We distribute and transport gas, not just in Colombia, but in Peru as well. So, the transformation of the Colombian market is really joined to our transformation. As a company, we have been growing a lot during the last mainly 20 years as the market did. So the company and the market are so similar right now because we have been growing and growing, and this is what the Colombian market is doing right now.
So what are the company's objectives? Because I know it's Grupo Energía Bogotá, so one might think, okay, well this is some city company, but it's not. As you say, you're in various countries. Yeah. What are your objectives? What are the aims of the company?
Just to explain, we are originally Colombians, let's say, but we grow through different countries. Our current strategy is focused on growth to the different markets of Latin America. We are mainly Latin American company, and we're taking a look at different opportunities through the different markets. Our main goal right now is focused on 3 points. First, corporate governance. We have public capital in our company. We are majority owned by the municipality of Bogotá, so we have a really high standard of corporate governance. Second, pure, genuine relation with the communities. We cross almost the whole country in Colombia, same in Peru with our transmission lines, our pipelines. And if we don't have these kind of relations, we are not going to be success. And third point that I think is really important and really key is diversification of the business. Right now we have activities, as I say, in the whole energy chain, and we continue to grow, but through a diversification strategy in the different business we have.
That's interesting. So you, of course, are responsible for generation. Now, generation, I know there's a lot of hydro in the country, but you also have gas, which is coming in a big way, and there are renewables, which is a relatively new thing as well for Colombia. So what is the generation mix looking like now, and where's it going?
Sure. Colombia right now has 70% of the energy matrix coming from hydropower. Then thermal plants and sand, biomass, and other sources. So in the future, what the current government is saying is that they are going to support more renewable entering into the country. We expect 2 tenders for this year. But hydro is going to still play a really key role in Colombia because we have a really clean energy matrix that has to be clear. One of the cleanest matrices in the world. We see renewable coming in, but little by little because we already have, as I say, a competitive matrix. And for sure, one of the key points is infrastructure. To incorporate more renewable energy, we need more infrastructure, more transmission lines. Currently, we are working on the largest transmission line for renewable energy. We are going to connect more than 1,000 megawatts to our land. So this is key. The country is moving and is transforming not just the generation, but the whole country and the whole energy matrix is looking to the future. So in the next coming years, we are going to see more wind farms coming in, more solar plants coming in, but as well, we are going to see still a high power of the hydropower.
Yeah. But it is quite a centralized system. When we're talking about the transformation of power systems nowadays, we're talking about decentralized generation, we're talking about PPAs and companies setting up their own renewable energy sources. It doesn't sound as though the Colombian market is at that stage at the moment.
At this moment, the country is under a transformation. Regulation is being focused in the future. We are talking now about energy storage, DG. We are talking about smart cities, mobility. The country, I think, has a really strong environment to look in the future. But right now, as you said, generation is really centralized right now. But the government and the different laws that are in place are looking as well through these new options in the future. So I'm sure we are going to see more storage, more distributed generation, and more options in the short term. I'd say even less than 5 years.
In less than 5 years, so it's quite a fast pace of change you're expecting.
Yeah, sure. The government changed last year, and the government has a really clear path to transform what they say. The minister was here yesterday and the vice minister as well, and they're talking about transformation that is currently happening in the market.
In terms of financing this sort of transformation, how is that going to happen? Is this dependent very much on government subsidies and government financing, or is this going to attract funds from outside?
No, I think Colombia has one of the strongest private market in Latin America. The Colombian companies working in the energy sector are other markets. I mean, you have us in different markets. You have ISA and another Colombian company through transmission in other countries, and a big group of Colombian companies investing a lot in transformation of the energy sector. I mean, for sure, I mean, we are going to have the support of the government through this vision on legislation, but I mean, the private companies are going to play a key role in this transformation.
Yeah. So the government support on the legislative side, and there's lower political risk than there has been in the past, maybe,
yeah.
and companies can move in. In terms of the generation mix, what are the objectives for renewables and for other things?
Colombia has not yet implemented. I mean, there's a target for renewable energy,
mm-hmm.
and the president of the country has said that. I mean, they are expecting 1,500 megawatts, but this morning we have a meeting with some investors here with the vice minister, and he said that they are now going to review that. They might increase that. They even could include like a target, I mean, between 12 and 50% of renewable energy in the matrix. He said that this morning. I think they are working on that. Now we are still under like some discussions on the country, but I think, and I want to remark that the country has already a really clean energy matrix that provide us clean power and cheap power. That is key. I mean, Colombia has shown during the worst scenarios of dry seasons that we can have a really strong structure of the energy sector, and this is important. I mean, and we have to diversify for sure, and we have to do that, but we have to do that with an economic sense as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, gas is one of the innovations, I suppose, in the Colombian market to a certain extent. LNG, of course, is arriving, and it's a big part of the growth story for your company as well. Sure. What are the projections for gas within BNEF?
Sure, I mean, thank you very much for this question, because gas is in our DNA. Mm-hmm. We have activities in Peru right now. We are the largest distributor of gas in Peru. We have 2 companies there, but we have as well a really sound activity in Colombia. We have a distribution company there, and we have as well the largest transportation company in Colombia. We think that gas is going to play a really key part of the story in the future. I mean, renewable and gas for sure. I mean, everybody says that. We have seen that during the last few days here in the analysis. And in Colombia, it's going to be key as well. We are working, I mean, the government has announced that we might have a regasification plant in the Pacific of the country. Right. So we are, through our company, we are working there, and we expect the government to issue the tender, because we consider that having different sources of gas is key for the country as well. And gas is playing now a transformation in the whole world. It has to do in Colombia as well.
Yeah. So when is that due to come out, that tender?
I mean, we were expecting that for the first semester of the year. Now it looks like it might be the second semester, but I mean, we are working there through our company, doing the analysis and so, and we hope that we get that soon, because at the end, the more options the country has, the better for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So this regasification plant, is this going to be serving Peru as well?
No, just Colombia.
This is just Colombia.
At the beginning, just Colombia, but one thing that our CEO mentions here is like the relation between the Pacific Alliance, we'll say, between Mexico, Chile, Peru, and Colombia. We see a lot of opportunities there as well, with those regasification plants and those flows through the different countries. So we hope, I mean, we have a really strong integration between countries, not just in gas, but as well in transmission. We have the experience of interconnect Colombia with Ecuador. Now the government announced that we are at the end having the line between Panama and Colombia in place in the short, medium term. So we think that having all this kind of network in gas and electricity is going to make us a region, and a strong region.
Yeah, so gas is going to bring these countries together in many ways,
we hope so.
unexpected ways. Hope so.
We hope so, and we want so.